Hello, welcome back. Now, it's really crap weather outside today in real life here in New Zealand, so I decided that, it's still winter here in New Zealand, so it's too cold to be working out in the garage because my garage isn't lined, and I don't want to be out in the car because the weather's too crap, so I'd have the roof up and it's not the most pleasant with the roof up. So I thought I might drop 4 very short farming videos, and I will make them quite short since I'm going to do 4 in one day. Well, I hope to get through 4 in one day, depending on how long they take to upload. Just with an update on each of my 4 farms, 1 video for each farm, just giving an update on what's happening with them and all that. So this one here, I've just finished rolling the last of the grass fields there that I mow for baling, so we'll go and shut that gate. And part of the reason I've decided to do this is I have got some small changes that I've sort of done to the different maps and things that perhaps people haven't seen since the last video, especially this farm here. I haven't made a video on this farm for quite some time because I took a break for a couple of months from this map, and that was actually the reason I started doing 4 different maps. But it's the first time in my whole life I've done more than one map at once, and it's because I was beginning to get a bit bored of this one. But I knew that I loved this map the most of any FS22 map, so I didn't want to give it up, but I didn't want to play it right then and there, so I just gave it a break. Now, I'm just going to stop here to show you one of the changes I've made. I'll just kill the beacon light now, because this is a quiet road here. In fact, I'll even kill the engine. Okay, so if we go down here, now, I put this little shops, farm shop thing, roadside store here, in here, quite some time ago. I've made a slight change to it, and I want to show you when the car comes along from this direction, you'll get to see. I'll explain first what the change is. So I've moved, this is PA Ploughboys Range Rover here. So I've got PA Ploughboys Range Rover there. I've got up here is Fury Machine Gaming's house with his Rangy, and along a wee bit further is up here, if we go up here, you get to see AK's house, and they all own Range Rovers because I like that Range Rover mod, but I just didn't have one for myself in the game. So this Range Rover, I've moved it out a wee bit closer to the road, and the reason I've done that is it means that as a car comes along from this direction, the Range Rover's slightly in the way enough of the crash collision box that it tells the car to stop, but then it's only the back end of the car's in that position because it's on a slight angle, so by the time the vehicle actually is slowing down to come to a stop, it's past that area, and so the game tells the AI car to go again. And what it results in is all the cars coming from that direction there, as they come to my store, they slow down just to check what vegetables I've got for sale and things and at what price, and then they speed up and carry on again. So if I stand here as this tractor comes along, you'll see what I mean. That car did it, the tractor didn't for some reason. The tractor must be going a bit fast. You see how the cars, they come along here, they come along the road, and they slow down, see what I've got for sale in my shop there, and then they speed up and carry on. So I did that just by moving this Range Rover out a wee bit further closer to the road. So that tractor slowed down, and so did the Transit there. So it works on most things, but didn't work on that first Fiat tractor. It must have just been going a bit too fast. But so that's one of the changes I've made, and I put this little store in myself, so I do own this paddock here that's sort of up against. This isn't right next to my farm, because my farm's down a one-way, much narrower, less busy road, but it's on the main drag, which is only a block over from my farm. So we'll carry on up here, and I have done another change to this one as well. I've put another gate in just here, and the reason I've put this gate in, and I shall show you, we'll just jump out of the tractor again for a minute. So that one is slightly buried in the ground when it's closed. There's nothing I can do about that. Otherwise, the only gate into this paddock here is this one over here, and that's fine, but this one here comes from another one of my paddocks, and sometimes I want to be able to get into this paddock here without driving through the other paddock first. If there's something in the other paddock, like I don't want to be crushing the grass or anything. So the other day I put this gate in over here. Just removed a wee bit of hedge and put this gate in so that I can now get into this paddock without going through the other one if I wish to. Okay, so we head back up here. I must admit, I've been playing on BallySpring here for a couple of days now, and it's sort of the first time I've gone back to it since I stopped playing it for a few months, just to give it a break. And I must admit, I'm really enjoying being back in the old Ford tractors and the David Brown, the International, because of my 4 maps, this is the only one I've got that has the Ford tractors and the David Brown and the International things on it. So this one has my very New Zealand style cow shed here. If I doesn't want to let me jump the fence there. So okay, so here I've got a cow yard for sorting the cattle and things. But this cow shed here, if you want to Google it, it's called a herringbone shed. So this is a lot of cow sheds, milking sheds in New Zealand of this style. They're called herringbone milking sheds. And so even though it's New Zealand style milking shed on an Irish farm, I wanted to put it here. It's got the taps there, and part of the reason it's got a tap there and another one down the other end here. The reason I put those taps there is I can arm myself with the hose there and spray out the yard, because after you've finished with milking, you always have to spray the concrete yards out. And so obviously, there we go. Obviously in the actual game here, that spraying is doing absolutely nothing when I spray it, but I like to do it because it's something that I know farmers have to do, and I've even done that in a video or two. And this, I also have down here, this is a cow run. It goes right up, so this same dirt lane thing here goes all the way up to the back of my farm and basically connects to all the paddocks I have cows in. So this is the way that I get the cows down to the milking shed. I put them all in this run here and bring them all down. And again, that's a very Kiwi way of doing things. So even though this is an Irish map, it's very Kiwi the way that I've done all that. And even this red ramp here, we load the cows up onto the truck. You see the truck turns into this road and then backs up to the ramp from that road. So I don't know when this map was designed whether these gravel bits were actually meant to be part of the farm or part of the road system. I treat them as part of the road system, and I've completely redone this yard here in the farmhouse. So all this bit here is all completely done. That hay shed there is all completely new. Even that gate on the left, on the right there is new, and even this gate and the fence on the right here. So the yard was just open there as standard on this map, but I closed it in so it would look more like all that gravel is part of the road system rather than part of the farm, because gravel roads aren't unusual in New Zealand once you get out into the country a bit. So yeah. I'm just backing this up to put it away, put the roller away. This farmyard has had some changes from how it is originally in BallySpring, but it's the same sort of, I don't know, I'll call it the same floor plan, the same design. So, oops, wasn't meant to do that. Sorry about that. Come on. So, it's the same sort of design as the original farmyard that goes here. I have made quite a number of changes to it, including taking out the grain shed that was to my right over there. There was a grain shed there, and that's all completely gone. I have rebuilt some of the sheds to put different sheds in their place and things, but still not completely different from what it originally was. Now I must admit, it didn't need to have a lot of things changed on this farm, because it's such a brilliant map anyway. It's just a case of choose the farm you like the best and go with it, because it's such a brilliant map. So this is BallySpring, and I would say that BallySpring is probably my favourite of all of the FS22 maps. I know that it is being converted to FS25 as well, and this map may be what it takes to get me to convert to FS25. I'm really not sure. Anyway, and so in here I've got, this is a Bedford truck. It's actually a Ford F 600, I think, from memory, but I treat it as a Bedford J3. So if you wanted to Google Bedford truck, it's an English brand, so it looks very, very similar to that, very similar. So it means that it sort of feels more like it belongs on this map, having an old Bedford truck. Because on an Irish map, you'll often have English equipment, because of course England and Ireland are quite close to each other. So I'm going to have to do some more straw bales soon. I have actually got peas that are going to be ready to harvest in August. I've never ever done peas before, which is why I did them. But yeah, a lot of my maps you'll see a lot of English equipment, so I like having the old Land Rovers and things like that on my maps, and tractors that you see in the UK, or I imagine you see in the UK, so Ford tractors, Fiat Agri tractors, things like that. So this farm I've got the 2 Ford tractors for my big tractors. This is a 10 series and this is a 40 series. Now I know the 40 series doesn't really belong on this because I've got this map set in the mid to late 80s, and the 40 series didn't come out I think until 1990 from memory, so it doesn't really belong on this map, but I like it, so I'm just using a bit of poetic license for that. I also got the little David Brown tractor there. I absolutely love that David Brown tractor. And then over here I've got an international tractor as well. The international mod and the David Brown mod are exactly the same mods, its own paint schemes are different in them. I like the David Brown better, but I keep the international there because I know that PA Ploughboy has an international in real life on his farm, so I keep that there for him and things. I do use it. So I'll make that it for this video, and I'll see you back shortly for the other 3, going through my other 3 maps with what I've been doing on those. Thanks, bye.